Some houses are just houses. Others hold memories, shadows of the past that refuse to be forgotten. When Lisa and her 8-year-old son, Daniel, moved into the old Willow Creek house, they thought it would be a fresh start, a new beginning after the divorce. The house was cheap, too cheap. But Lisa didn't ask questions. She just wanted to move forward. The house had been abandoned for years, a grand Victorian mansion, once beautiful, now covered in vines and shadows. As Lisa unlocked the door, a strange gust of cold air brushed past her, almost as if the house itself exhaled. Inside, the air was thick, heavy with dust, and something else. A faint scent of old wood and something rotting deep within the walls. But Lisa ignored it. New house, new life. That night, as they unpacked, Daniel's voice broke the silence. "Mom, who lived here before us?" Lisa hesitated. She hadn't thought about it. The house had been empty for years. "No one for a long time, sweetheart." Daniel didn't respond. He was staring at something. The stairs. The shadows there seemed darker than they should be. Deeper. The first night was silent. Almost too silent. Lisa slept soundly, exhausted from the move. But Daniel, he heard it. A soft whisper, faint, just beyond the walls. "Daniel." He sat up, heart pounding. The room was still. The whisper had been so close, as if someone had been right beside his ear. He turned toward the closet. The door was slightly open. Daniel pulled the covers over his head. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe it was just the old house settling. But outside his room, in the hallway, something moved. By morning, Daniel looked different, pale, eyes dark with exhaustion. "Did you sleep okay, baby?" Lisa asked. Daniel shook his head. He didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to hear that voice again. And then a sound, a soft, rhythmic scratching inside the walls. Lisa frowned. Rats, probably. But Daniel knew better. It wasn't rats. It was something else. That night he heard it again, the whispers. This time, louder. "Daniel, come play with me." The third night, Daniel woke to a cold breath against his cheek. He opened his eyes and froze. The closet door was wide open, and standing inside, barely visible in the darkness, was a tall, shadowy figure. Hollow, glowing eyes stared at him. Long, bony fingers curled around the edge of the doorframe. Daniel couldn't move. He couldn't scream. The figure stepped forward, and then the whisper. He never left. Daniel blacked out. The next morning, Lisa found Daniel curled up on the floor, shaking. Something was wrong with this house. She drove into town, searching for answers. An old man at the gas station stared at her when she mentioned the house. His face darkened. That house should have stayed empty. Lisa felt a chill crawl down her spine. "Why?" The man hesitated, then sighed. A little boy lived there once, disappeared. His parents swore he was talking to something in the walls, said he had an imaginary friend. Then one day, he was just gone. They never found his body. Lisa's blood ran cold. She raced home. Daniel was gone. Lisa searched the house, screaming his name. And then, a whisper. "Mommy." Her heart stopped. It was coming from inside the closet. She stepped closer, flashlight trembling in her grip. Inside, the walls looked wrong, as if they had been sealed, patched over. Lisa grabbed a chair and tore at the wallpaper. Beneath it, wooden boards, nailed shut. She clawed at them, pulling, tearing, until finally, a gap. Behind the wall, a small skeleton, curled up, as if it had died hiding. And standing behind her, reflected in the dark glass of the window, was the shadowy figure. watching, waiting. Lisa didn't pack. She didn't stop. She grabbed Daniel and ran. As she drove away, she glanced in the rearview mirror. The house stood still, silent, watching. And in the upstairs window, a small figure, a boy, staring after them, whispering, "Come back." The end.